Alright, sorry about that, guys. My phone apparently shut itself off for some reason. Um, I think the last thing you hear me say is a long sleeve athletic. It's a long sleeve athletic shirt that's loose fit. Um, it's gonna get really annoying if this thing keeps shutting off. But I was actually in the middle of putting the bag on, and then I noticed the camera wasn't working. So I'm gonna make sure the camera's working real fast. Hold on. Yes, it still is. Um, Oh, hold on. We're gonna take a little bit of a walk. Not much. Just I figure we'll take a little bit of a nice walk just so you can see a little bit of Babbler Forest if you don't know anything about Babbler Forest. Um, Actually, let me back this up so you can see. There's sometimes a trick to putting your bag on, and it just depends on how heavy in the different situations. Um, if you can sit down starting off and put the bag on, like put the bag on something and sit down, it helps a lot. Just because you can get both arms in right away. If you can't, um, my biggest thing is taking it in one hand, obviously, like throwing a backpack on. Make sure your snaps are all undone. Um, and not necessarily just throwing it behind me, but kind of throwing it up. Because then you can get your other arm in this one, like, and then like when you bring it down, it just kind of falls onto your shoulders. I'd recommend you put your hood up first, because otherwise it's really uncomfortable. Alright. And there you go. That's just my way of putting it on. Like I said, everybody has their own little tricks of the trade. I'm gonna put my hoodie tight here, and since it doesn't zip up, we'll just make it close. Um, and then definitely when you put your bag on, especially if it's loaded down like mine is, which is pointless, but why not? You definitely want to try and have as much of the weight supported on your waist. Like you want to be able to arch your back and the bag kind of like feel like it's supported on your hips more. Um, this will prevent from having a lot of back aches and a lot of shoulder problems. I mean, your shoulders will still end up hurting just because it's sitting right on your I think it's traps. Yeah, I think so. Wow, I'm starting to see my breath. That's awesome. Um, but yeah, I would definitely like. I'm a small guy, so I'm kind of screwed in this aspect unless I wear a bunch of layers because I can't really get this very tight. Like, I mean, I can get it a little tighter, but not much. And but the tighter you can get it, I know it sounds stupid, but the tighter you can get this waist harness, it might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but I promise you, it's so much better to have the weight here and it to be tighter here than up here, because right now I can drop my shoulders and the bag's still supported and not falling back or anything like that. It also prevents, if all the weight's down here, it prevents you from walking like this all the time, which is one of the big back problem issues. You kind of want to be able to stand up as straight as possible. Um, you're obviously, you know, going uphill, you're going to be like this. It's just, you don't want to stand straight up because you're going to end up going backwards. So, but yeah, this is kind of how it's all set up. I've got everything, like, once again, so you can see just why I position everything. If I need to, here's my flashlight, and like I said, it's on that button relay, so I can just sit here and do that. Got my binoculars right here. Like I was saying before, my machete is actually in a spot, normally. My rope's covering it up. But the machete's pretty much in the spot. I can just reach back and grab it and pull it out. And since I have this pulled over, it's kind of causing me issues too. But yeah, I mean, anything I need to access on here, that nightstick right there. So I've kind of got everything on here. There's some things that are not on my bag right now that I sometimes have on my bag, like a hatchet. It's just, I'm trying to cut down on my weight, and I got a car pulling in, so I'm gonna kind of stop standing here and talking, because I don't want to freak them out. But, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a walkie here. But, hold on, I don't look like a freak. Let's see. Here. I didn't notice this earlier. You probably noticed, didn't they? Go this way. But anyways, I think you can still hear me. Hope so. What was I saying? Clothes, yes, clothes. Really, once again, as far as clothes go, oh, this is really cool, actually. Sorry, I get distracted easily. As far as clothes go, just really do the best with what you can and what you have until you really get in there and, you know, what I do basically is I just test myself. Go out with what you have, you know, obviously layer up, you know, try and stay warm. I mean, right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little cold, but it's only because my hands are cold. I got fingerless gloves on, which is another reason why I have those other gloves. I would definitely recommend having like some wool gloves or just something warm you can throw over your hands when you need to. If not, like winter gloves. But but yeah, I mean, once again, don't go out and spend tons of money on stuff. You know, you see in like, I've seen in documentaries and all this stuff, the guys walking around with those walking sticks, and, you know, wearing Merrell hiking boots and Columbia pants. And don't get me wrong, yes, I know I was just saying I'd recommend the Columbia pants. The only reason I said that is because they're good pants. Hold on, sorry. They really are good pants. I'm not telling you never go buy that stuff. I would recommend it when you get more into it. You know, hiking is not, it's not a sport per se. It's a recreational activity, and it can be an expensive one. I mean, you know, if you're going out there and just buying what you see professionals using, you're going to spend a lot of money. And if you only end up doing this, you know, once a month, well, that's even more often than what I would say. But, you know, if you only do this a couple of times a year, you really don't need all that equipment. You don't need all that ridiculous amount of money thrown into something. They only do every once in a while. And the more money you throw into it, really in my mind, the more money you throw into it, the more you need to be doing it to get your enjoyment worth out of it. Because personally, if I'd say, I don't know, $2,000 on, you know, getting the pants, the boots, the coats, and man, I would never leave the woods. That's the only way I could justify spending that type of money. And I hate money, so that makes it even worse. My girlfriend's gonna kill me. This is all mud. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have boots for hiking, I'd go to Walmart, pick up just a cheap, like the boots I have on now, I think were like $45-50, maybe a little bit more, not much. The boots I generally get are steel toe and steel plated. They're once again $35-40, and they work great. But you really need to have something that gives you ankle support. Tennis shoes really don't cut it, because if you roll your ankle and you're wearing tennis shoes, it's not going to help you. It's just not. And yeah, I know I'm huffing and puffing a lot. It is cold, and I haven't done anything in a while, so I'm getting a little out of shape. Anyways, I'm making excuses. But yeah, just go out, try it a couple times, and see what you think. Don't, or better yet,
find someone you know that does this for fun, and take your basics. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, my friend Brian called me and he cut the camera off. But yeah, find someone that you know that goes out hiking or bike riding or just basic stuff, and then go out with them. Take a school backpack, throw in, some bottles of water or whatnot, or just whatever, and go out there, hike around, if I could talk, this would be great. Hike around for an hour or two, and just try and make it a weekly event where you guys go out for a couple hours. Because it's gonna suck at first if you're not an active, like outdoorsy active person. It really is. I'm not gonna lie. It's it can be hard. It's definitely not like walking through the mall or something. You'll end up using leg muscles that you don't really think exist, or back muscles and stuff. Especially if you're doing it with a bag. I mean, my number one recommendation though would be to just go, either find someone that does this often, or just throw a backpack on, go to your local park like Castlewood Park around here, or Rockwood Reservations, Babbler State Park, Katy Trail. And I mean, just go where other people are gonna be. Don't go finding random trails through the woods, because if you get hurt or something, you're gonna be in trouble. And I mean, a lot of times in these parks or in the woods, your cell phones don't get signal. I mean, you all know that. I mean, but yeah, either go where a lot of people are, or go with someone that's experienced. I will tell you now, it's far more enjoyable when you have someone there with you. You can enjoy things a little bit more, like stuff like this. I mean, to you guys it might not be that cool, but I mean, you got this trail. You got all these natural elements of obstacles that you got to go around and over and stuff, and it just makes the trail a little bit more interesting. But when you got someone else there to, don't watch me fall on my face if I do, to share it with, it's kind of cool. But my recommendation, because I'm learning this right now, wear fingered gloves. The tips of my fingers are cold as hell, and the rest of my body's fine, but the tips of my fingers are cold. That's my stupidity. I always end up wearing these gloves because they allow me full range mobility, which I tend to treasure more than apparently warmth. Anyways, I mean, if you guys have any questions, I know you're probably thinking this is the most retarded, like, hour, maybe longer video I've ever watched, but if you've stuck through this video, I really appreciate it. And just hit me up with questions or anything. I'd be happy to share what little knowledge I have. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to say this is what you need to do, this is what you... I'll just give you recommendations. I will try not to steer you in the wrong direction. And if I give you bad advice, tell me. Say, hey, dude, this sucked. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself here because I thought that was really cool. An upturned tree, and the path goes right by it. That's the other thing about this. I always get distracted because I see really cool things. I wonder if there's anything up in there. I don't see anything. But anyways, yeah, like, if I give you advice, or if you ask for advice, I'm not saying you have to ask me for advice. But if I give you advice and it sucks, just tell me. I don't care. I mean, I care that I gave you bad advice, but it's not gonna hurt my feelings. That's what giving advice is all about. You take it and you see how it works. If it sucks, you let that person know so that they don't give people in the future bad advice. Because if I tell all of you guys, or I don't know, if I give bad advice to 10 people and 1 out of 10 of those people get hurt because of my advice, I would feel like shit. So if I give you bad advice, let me know. Just say whatever. But I would definitely recommend this as an activity for anyone and everyone to do. I strongly would recommend that if... My apologies. Once again, the camera cut out on me. I got it on too high of a resolution, apparently. I really don't remember where that cut off at. But, yeah. What I do know I said that the camera didn't catch was if you need an activity that doesn't cost you any money, really fun to do, this is it. You don't have to pay anything. I mean, just drive into the park, get out of your car, take your bag, and go hike, you know? There's trails everywhere. I mean, I'm walking down a trail right now that I didn't even know existed, and I'm watching deer run across this, you know? So, it's really cool, really scenic, and it helps you clear your mind a lot. This is something that is really important for people with depression to get out and try and do. I know, I used to be extremely depressed. Me and one of my other good friends, actually, no, I won't name them just in case, but we both struggled with severe depression for a while. And this helps a lot, just getting out and go hiking and bike riding and just being active outdoors. The reason I say outdoors is because the fresh air really does clear your mind. You just get out here and you see really cool stuff. Like the other day, me and Brian were walking through Rockwood Reservations and found bricks for an old, for the old railroad that used to cut through there. And, you know, you run into historic things and you run into not so historic things, but that are still really cool, you know. So, I'd strongly advise for anybody that actually sat through these videos. I don't think I can make them all into one, but whatever. I strongly advise just get out there and go hike. Any time of year. I know that sounds really crazy, but you know, just get out there. Nothing's gonna hurt you. You know, I'm sure you've all noticed that when you walk around and get really active outside when it's cold, you warm up. So that's one thing. And in the summer, don't layer. Just wear one shirt. Take a light jacket, you know, in case it gets windy. But I'm stating the obvious. I know. I'm sorry. I tend to think out loud or whatever. But yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna keep checking my camera because it's kind of getting annoying. Oh, another thing I was saying. The only time it's gonna cost you to be in a park doing this is if you try and camp. Because they have designated camping zones. And I know most of everybody knows what I'm... Alright, guys. Alright, sorry. Sorry about that. Last cutoff, my phone died completely this time. I guess it just had enough and was like, screw this. What I was saying about, you know, parks having designated camping areas. Personally, I would rather camp for free, but parks don't do that, obviously. There's a couple ways you can get around paying a park fee. First, what I do. I have a friend with a good amount of property. We go camp on his property. I mean, it's in the woods. Perfect area to camp. We've got a nice campground set up. I'm sure you've seen it on a couple videos, I think. Secondly, is talk to local farmers. Or if, you know, you have a family member that knows a farmer or something, ask them if they have a wooded area on their property, if you could camp in it. If you do camp on it, though, I strongly suggest make it seem like you were never there. That's one of the most important things, or you won't ever be allowed back or anything like that. On another subject, my final recommendation for the night, because my friend's coming up, is if you carry a water bottle such as this guy here, don't have a big mouth water bottle. It's really hard to walk and drink with it. I suggest getting something with a spout or a smaller opening. My friend, Mr. Brian, standing over there waiting for me. But other than that, that's my last rant for the almost hour-long video. Well, in combination. But yeah, comment, questions, let me know, hit me up. I think it's linked to my Facebook page. If it's not, let me know and I'll link it, or I'll give you the link or something. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on hiking and the benefits and how to pack a bag and what you need and whatnot. Alright guys, have a good one. Peace out.